Stop. I'm gonna smack you.
There'll be no smacking in class, please. All right, quiet, please. Okay. So we left off with, admittedly, what I had stated was I generally will get one or two kids that, generally the kids that don't pay attention, they get lost, not on what to do, but between the things that we've done in this chapter. We started off by graphing lines. Lines, right? The lines are all solid. We start off with a table of values. We solve for y, table of values, pick 3 or more points, graph the points, play connected dots. Then we did 2 lines, find out where they intersect. Then we took a pause, and we came back to not lines, but inequalities, and they end up being regions that you shade. That was the homework last night. So any questions on last night's homework? Usually what happens to the kid that didn't pay attention is, I don't know, I thought I was supposed to shade something. I really wasn't paying attention. Yes. Let's take a look at number 9. Hey, stop talking. All right. Number 9 says the following. It says negative 2x plus y, yes, is greater than or equal to 2. Whoops, y. Is greater than or equal to 2. Step number 1, does it say y equals? No, it doesn't. So we gotta solve this thing. Well, this was not too bad. How do you get rid of negative 2x?
Add plus 2.
We're gonna add 2x, girls. We're gonna add 2x to both sides. If we add 2x to both sides, we get y greater than or equal to 2x plus 2. That one's an easy one to do. We pick 3 values. I'm just doing a t-table now. What am I going to pick?
Negative 0,
2 times negative 1
negative 2.
plus 2.
0.
0 will give me
2.
2 times 1
4.
plus 2.
4.
How do you get 2 times 1?
Because I threw in a 1.
Yeah, but how'd you go from 4?
How did you do that?
Hey, stop.
You went from 2 to 4 on that one.
Yeah, exactly.
Stop for a second and let him ask the question. What do you mean by I went from 2 to 4?
You said that 2 was a 4.
Okay, take a deep breath.
Okay.
The process is we solve for y. I pick 3 values. One at a time, I plug them in. Let's plug in 0. 2 times 0. 2. Now I'm done with that. I wrote a 2. I don't know what the next number is. And in fact, I don't care compared to what I just got. Great, it's a 2. It's dead to me now. Now I'm plugging in a 1. I'm going to get another number. Okay, in this case, I got 4. I take those 3 points and I graph them. I have negative 1, 0 right there. I have 0, 2 right here. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4 right here. There are my 3 points. Solid or dashed?
Dashed.
Solid.
You just said both. How do you know whether it's solid or dashed? And why is my finger right there? So guess what we do? What does it look like? So guess what we make? So that's why I'm pointing to it. If there's a line underneath it, you make a line. If there's not, then you make a dash. Okay, here, look up here. These 2 right here, dashed. These 2, because they got a line underneath of it, line. So what am I going to make? And that's why I was pointing to it. I'm going to make a line. So I make a line. Can I pick 0, 0 on this one?
Yes.
Because it doesn't go through 0, 0. So I take 0, 0 and I plug it back over here. See what I get. So let's see. 0 is greater than or equal to 2 times 0 is 0. Well, that gives me a 2. Is this a true or false statement?
True. False.
Why is it false?
0.
Why is it false?
Because it's going towards.
Why is it false? Maybe if I yell louder, he'll give you the right answer.
Good boss.
It never works. Why? This is how I will know if you understand it or not. Why is it false? This is why you don't understand. Okay. Everyone hush. Let me get him to where he understands it. Read it.
Okay, 0 is greater than equal to 2.
Is that true or false?
It's false.
Why?
Because it's 0.
Okay, now you got it. All right.
Yeah,
So the reason why they immediately knew the answer and you did not is because they understood what I'm asking here. I'm just asking, is 0 bigger than 2? Why bigger and not smaller? Because it says greater than. The other sign would say, is that true? 0
I
is less.
don't even remember that yesterday.
We did it.
What?
So we just found out that what? 0, 0 was true or false. So therefore we shade the other side and there's your final answer. Now, how am I going to read out the answers? Look up here. I'm going to read it out. Solid line, shade to the left. You see that? That's how I will call out the answers. All right. I gave you 8 and 9, 11 through 14, and I said 10 was extra credit. I will not call out answer number 10. All right. Where are my answers? Back of the book. Okay, I'm gonna have to grade this because I'm not ready to call answers. All right. So, any other questions besides 9? I'm gonna have to grade this one. I thought the answers were in the book, but they're not. Nothing? Jenna, you got this or not got this? Good deal. Okay. All right, Grayson. Now, we are going to do a review. As always, a review consists of, well, everything that will be on the test. If it is not on this, it is not on the test. If it's not on, Donovan, if you're live right now, I already have this posted.
Sweet.
Go ahead. It should be already on Teams. I posted it like at 6 o'clock this morning.
Okay.
We look at the calendar, guys. My patience is quickly diminishing. Why am I doing 2 days of review?
Because we need to make sure we have this done.
Okay. There's some of you that are still trying to master this part of graphing with a table of values. Now, for those of you that are truly worried, hey, whatever's going on back there, stop. For those of you that are truly worried that I don't care how much work you do, I'm still going to screw this up. You need to show me you know what you're doing. 4 steps. Solve for y. Table of pain. Graph the points. Play connect the dots. That's true for everything but the very last thing we did, which was graphing inequality. So there's that extra step of picking a test point and then figuring out which side we shade. The following will be on the test. Okay, we're gonna go from easy to hard. Do you remember literally what the first thing we did in class? I gave you points, you had to graph them. Shame on you if you get any of these wrong, right? Second thing we did was the opposite of that. I will stop. I gave you points. You have to tell me what their coordinates are. That was section 1. The rest of the chapter was all the pain, right? Okay. The rest of the chapter was graphing. Now, I gave you lots on this to do. Not because I want you to, hate graphing, but I want to give you enough. I'm giving you 1, 2, 3, 4 examples. Okay, that's not that many. 4 examples to graph. All the answers are on the back. Once again, I wish they didn't do this, but they did it. Most of their graphs for the answers go by 2. Each square is worth 2. Yet on the graph that I give you to graph, the graph goes by 1. So in essence, the shape will generally be correct, but you just got to remember that theirs is going by 2 instead of 1. You're going to graph yours as normal, okay? But when you check your answer. Secondly, make sure we're graphing lines. We're not graphing segments. So put arrows on your lines. Once that's done, right? Then the real pain begins. And the real pain is when I do system of equations. There are two things that can happen with system of equations. Either the lines intersect, and the intersection is the answer, or they are no solutions. Okay? I've given you not like a bunch of them where there's no solutions, but boys, seriously, right? Do you ever want to date in high school? Either one of you. And start acting like young gentlemen. All the girls are watching you.
Not all of them.
They're like, nope, nope, nope. Okay, maybe. All right. All right, back up here. God. All right. In between that, we had one section on slope. Of everything we did other than graphing points, slope is the second easiest one. I asked you the slope question two different ways. I said, here are 2 points. Tell me the slope that these the line that goes through these 2 points make. All you're doing is counting square. I say squares, but remember counting lines. Don't count the one that you're on. Right? Count the next one. And then the second thing is I give you a line. This year we've done pretty well. Usually previous years I'll have kids not pick lattice points. Remember, a lattice point, right, is where the 2 lines come together. You have to pick that point. So if the line goes like this, good to go. You can pick that point. It's minor, but if the line looks like this, I don't know if you can see that. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Can you pick that point? You can't pick that point.
Wow.
My line doesn't go through the lattice point. So although it's close, right? Close only counts in hand grenades and horseshoes, right? So you can't pick that as a lattice point. So and then Grant, you're going to see the answers here. So when you check your answers and you're like, well, that's not what I got. You probably didn't pick a lattice point. I give you 2 points. The 2 points are on lattice points. That's why those are the easier ones. I gave you more than enough to practice. One exception, horizontal lines have a slope of, horizontal line have a slope of, how steep is a horizontal line?
Zero. Oh, zero.
Oh, zero.
A vertical line, right, it has infinite steepness, right? So undefined and a slope of 0. Everything else, and then you can check your work, right? We always read from left to right. So if it looks like you're going up the hill, that's a positive slope. Left to right, if you're going down the hill, that's a negative slope. So you can easily get a negative number, but when you look at it like, oh, I got it backwards. Okay. That is the whole test, right? So and then remember the stuff we had last night for homework. We're gonna do 2 days of this. If you sit there and you're a knucklehead and you do not do your work, shame on you, right? Shame on you. I'm giving you 2 practice days. This is probably the one time. We get to the geometry one. Is that the next chapter?
Oh,
I think it is.
Oh.
The geometry one, we do 2 days simply because we need to practice all the shapes lots of times. So you have 2 days, 2 days to review before we take the test on Tuesday. Make sure. If you work really hard for this one, when we get to Monday, I will let you pick what you need to practice on. You're like, well, I know how to graph points. I don't need to do that. Well, then they'll do it. But today you're doing the whole darn thing. You're gonna do the whole darn thing. Whole darn thing. There's one for Nate there too. All right. I will, because this class is kind of tried by patience at times. I will, in this practice, start taking away points if I don't see you working. Working doesn't mean talking unless you're talking to me, right? Working means working. I don't mean silent. I just mean you got to be working. Right? You have 2 days to ask me questions on any of this stuff. Hey, this is the stuff that I'm weak on. Help me out. I got plenty of time. I have no time Tuesday morning to give you any help. I don't tutor on Fridays because we have teacher meeting, but I can tutor on Monday. If you're worried about getting a good grade, this is the first test. This is the first test of the quarter. Let's get A's on it. I will say this is a hard one to get an A on, but we can try.
I'll get an A.
There's a lot of work to do on this, so it's hard to get a good score on this one.
I'll get A on it.
You haven't yet. This is the hardest one.
The hardest one, how much you
All right.
want that? The easiest one I get
All right.
F on, and the hardest one I get A on.
Grayson, Kai, swap. You two swap for a second. I'm not gonna deal with the pleading with you to behave, right? Yes.
See you on Monday.
No, just for today. No,
See you on Monday.
all the way down.
Yo, Grayson, welcome.
You're next.
It kind of is me.
Stop talking. Get ready. All right, are we good to get started? Does everyone know where we need to go? You're gonna ask questions if you need help. Donovan, do you have any questions over any of the material that we've covered so far?
Not really, no.
Okay, if you have questions, remember, we're gonna do this again. It's gonna look exactly like this one, except obviously the numbers will change. But you're gonna get another review on Monday, just like this. If it's over the weekend or whatever, you say, hey, I got it all, check this one thing, send me a chat or an email, and we can Zoom or something like that.
Okay. Cool.
Okay. I'm gonna stop it right here just for the online learners, because you're not gonna sit here and listen to us do nothing here. Have a good weekend, Donovan.
Okay, bye, guys.